have questions about Butler. Like, why do we know so little about the shooter?
Yeah, no, guys, it's definitely a question I have, and it's definitely a question that's bothered me and frankly pisses me off. I mean, we're getting a little deep, but here's what I'll tell you. I love Kash Patel, and I love Dan Bongino. They're phenomenal human beings. And unlike the last group of characters, these two would not hide anything. They just would not. They would not hide anything about that situation. They would not hide anything about the Charlie Kirk situation. I saw all the conspiracy theories on the Charlie Kirk situation. They were just too good of people, right? And they were all friends with Charlie and everything else. But no, I don't like it at all. I talk about that a lot in the book. I don't like the lack of answers. I don't like the fact that we've seen one picture of this kid. He looks like a prepubescent 14-year-old. No, it's bothered me, every day since.
Do you think there's a chance that he was co-opted by somebody and coaxed into it?
When all this came out today, people, I'm like, you know what? Again? No, really, again. Because as far as I'm concerned, the whole thing has been a joke. I fought myself to do this video tonight. Then I'm like, I'm going to do it. And I fought myself exclusively to go back into my graveyard of videos that I did when this thing first happened. And I told myself, don't do it. Don't waste your time. At least not now. You see, people, the powers are gearing up to something. And they're running out of material. So they got to go back to the beginning. Look, there's only so many ways you can tell the story of what they said happened on July 13th of 2024 when Trump got, they say, hit in the ear in Butler, Pennsylvania. Then a few days later, he was at the RNC in Wisconsin, of which I did attend one day. And then he finally announced, surprisingly, J.D. Vance is his running mate. Now, if you want to make me believe that a young kid got up on a roof unnoticed and was able to pull this off, I'm not going to believe it. I will never believe it. But you've heard the old adage, if you tell a story long enough, at some point to the masses is true. Well, everybody ain't that dumb. Now you guys you're welcome to put whatever you got to say in the comment section, but I really think that after a while, you're seeing through the caper, the game. And it's not that you're just looking at July 13th. You're looking at the overall bizarre climate that has happened during the Joe Biden administration and now doing this clown show. It's a non-endless, full propaganda machine. That's all it is. It's a propaganda machine. And you have to ask yourself, how long are they going to churn up this story? How many people are going to interview them and give them the press coverage? And now The Great Pretender. Remember the song from way back in the day, The Great Pretender? That's where we're at. Because they know that they've run out of things to do. This week should be an interesting week. Like I told you guys, they're going to be burying Dick Cheney on former President Biden's birthday, November 20th. I'm expecting something big to go down. And en route to that time, which is 6 days, I expect stories like this to blossom more and more. So now you got Trump's son out there and he's doing his spiel. And it's all over the media this evening. I'm like, again? Why would we discuss July 13th right about now? I want you to really wrap your mind around what I'm saying. Why now? Why now? We got to change the guard, FBI director, new people in place. Why now? Oh, because we finally got material to prove they were hiding something. Really? So now you want me to believe that the FBI and other folks were allegedly covering up information on the shooter? This kid. This guy with the stars and stripes on his chest. This kid. Again, I'm not believing the story. I tore it apart then. I tore this story apart and I made it make sense, because this doesn't make sense. We always talk about how great we are in the military and stuff like that. People, if we are this great, how did a child, because that's what he was, a child, pull this off on the President of the United States? It just doesn't make sense, does it? It does not make sense. I can see a professional person from military or a Navy SEAL, you know, those 007 folks that had us in motion pictures the last 50, 60 years, but not a child, people. Not a child. No way. So I am going to once again give a little bit of my take, quote unquote, and then I'll let you decide. But I believe the reason why they're doing this is because something's about to pop off. So they got to reseed the atmosphere, keep it at your attention, because here's the thing. If it happened once, could it happen again? Do you see my point? If it happened once, could you see it happen again? What was the breakdown in communication? What was the breakdown where there wasn't a chopper over having an aerial view? Straight ahead was a straight view toward the building of which they said this child was on. It was almost like Charlie Kirk 1 when you think about it. Now let's look at his birth. Let's look at this guy. This child's birthday is 9/20 of 03. 9/20, okay? 62, 72. You got 9/20/2024. That would have been his birthday had he lived. From today, 11/14/2025. The difference is 4/21. I'm going to say it again. The child's birthday, if he had lived, is 9/20 of 2024. Today is 11/14/2025. They're reporting this mess. The difference is 4/21. Didn't Pope Francis die on the 421st day of the year? How many videos have I done where I said that April 21st is the 111th day of the year? And how many videos have I said the 111 is snake eyes? Because the slit in the eye is a 1. Snake eyes. I know Google tired of me, because I done probably done snake eyes 25 times. Look at that. There's your 1. There's your 1 right there. So let's take it again. 9/20/2024 versus today. That's 421 days. That's the 111th day of the year. It's because I call it April 21st. That's the day that the Pope died. And when you understand it in the context of there's going to be a new political system, as well as a new religious system, you can understand what I'm hitting on. That 421 is speaking. Not only is it the day that Pope Francis died, it's also the 111, like I said, which means something else is coming for the political side. Do you follow me? So let's look at it like this. 4/21/2025, the day that Pope Francis died, from July 13, 2024, when they said Trump got hit in the ear. The difference is 9/11. Okay, I'm done. You understand why I have no patience for this foolishness? But I'm going to decode. I'm going to show you guys just what they're trying to tell you, because they speak in another tongue. It so ain't no heavenly tongue. But I just use my logic and all my decades of experience, and I figure out the riddle. That when you take Pope Francis' death date from the day that Trump got hit in the ear, so they say, the difference is that 9/11 is coming. Do you understand? So it's really not about, oh, did we get to the bottom of this? No, it's about a future message. Right there. It's about a future message. Do you understand? That's why they're bringing this thing up to me. And then you take 6/14/2025, that's Trump's birthday. Today's date is 11/14/2025. The difference is 21/6. What is 2/16? Well, August 21st is the 216th day of the year. It just happens to be Barack Obama's birthday. Of which, once Trump is gone, just like the Pope left the planet, or wherever he gone, because people, the whole thing could be fake. Believe it or not, the whole thing could be fake. So today's date minus Trump's birthday gives me Barack Obama's birthday. It's just as clear as day to me. Now let's listen to this, because this is what happened. Another acting job. Okay, but listen.
Since the start of their investigation, the FBI has claimed that Thomas Crooks acted alone and that he was a virtual ghost online with no presence at all. Their only substantive claim about Crooks' motive was that he was a right-winger. We learned that from FBI Deputy Director Paul Abate, who said this to Congress just 1 month after the attempted assassination.
Something just very recently uncovered that I want to share is a social media account believed to be associated with the shooter in about the 2019-2020 timeframe. There were 700 comments posted from this account. Some of these comments, if ultimately attributable to the shooter, appear to reflect anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes, to espouse political violence, and are described as extreme in nature.
The social media account Abate was describing was Crooks' YouTube comments. When the FBI made that claim, we had to take his word. We have no way to check, but now we do. In September, we obtained hundreds of comments from Thomas Crooks' YouTube account. Since then,
You know, they make it so dramatic and so believable that they want to continue to have you follow, in my humble opinion, a non-story. You heard me, a non-story. I'm more concerned about the 5 C's of clues, of codes, of colors, the accomplishment time, which includes the dates and conclusion. I'm more concerned about the formation of the possible X right here, okay? Because X means what? The 24th letter of the alphabet, which means I'm gonna take you out. Do you understand? It's called speaking without speaking. But that's what you're gonna find when you come to this channel. You're going to get those things. We have, who was the first president elected in the United States? George Washington. Congress confirmed the election. The first election of the President of the United States was confirmed on 4/6 of 1789. April 6. What's important about the 4 and the 6? On 11/20 coming up, that's Joe Biden's birthday, 6 days from now. April 6th, like 4/6. Dick Cheney, who's going to be laid to rest, was the 46th vice president. And guess what? Who was the 46th president? Joe Biden. And now we have the first president of the United States on 4/6/1789. Congress certified George Washington to be president. 4/6. So let's look at it. 4/6/2025 anniversary. Chapter from today, 11/14/2025. The difference is 7/11. When Trump was in New York back in the day after the 9/11 situation, they say he accidentally said 7/11 when he meant 9/11. Well, I just showed you 9/11 here. And now you got 7/11 here. There's no difference. But let me show you something bigger than all this. 222. 222. And like the video I did earlier, please check it out, because it's a keeper. The Beast 222 explains all the 222, the Beast system, the Antichrist. It's all there. Because I know how they speak, I understand how they speak and why they speak. And I believe they're telling us something that's coming up very soon. They just have to couch the information a little bit differently and act it out. And then when it happens, you think they're going to refer to it? No, they'll go to the next scene. And you never ever catch on. But catch on to this. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomsoever believe in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. That's the only true story that I know right about now. That's consistent throughout the ages. Not who shot JR and the mystery of July 13th, 2024 in Butler, Pennsylvania, where they keep going back and forth telling you that some child hit a president, the most powerful man on the planet. I'm not buying it, and neither should you. I'm Franchot Pearson. God bless you.